and welcome to this demo tutorial on SQL injection. So what we will be doing today is using SQL Map, and as always we will also be doing SQL injection against damn vulnerable web app, which we also used in the web server and web application modules of this course. So let's get started. Alright, so what I have done is I've actually prepared all the commands beforehand, and I really recommend that you do this in penetration testing because it makes life a lot easier and makes the penetration test go a little bit quicker. So as you can see, first we're going to have to do some session hijacking, and we're going to use a little tool called tamper data on Firefox. We're going to copy the referrer string and the cookie and stop the tampering, and then we're going to use those variables in all the different SQL map scripts that I have prepared. So we're going to do a list database, obtain the database and database user, obtain database tables, database table columns, database management user and password, and we're going to try crack some passwords. Great, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is log into damn vulnerable web app. Okay, and as before, it is on my local network at 192.168.1.8, and let's just log into the actual application, and let's go set our security to low and submit that, and then let's just go to the SQL injection tab. Alright, now we're ready to start the session hijacking. So there's this cool little plugin for Firefox called tamper data, and once you've installed it, what it does is it actually captures the get and post requests as they're flying over the wire, similar to what Wireshark and all the other sniffing tools do, but this is specifically for HTTP and HTTPS traffic. So let's just start tamper data and say we'll start tampering, and now let's just quickly do a submit on ID number 1 and click tamper. Great. So there is the tamper pop-up, and we just say OK. So as you can see, ID1 is admin, and let's just click tamper again and OK, and tamper again and OK, and there we have our get request. So let's just make those a little larger. Right, now what we need to do is look for this specific cookie over here, and because we need to do a session hijack, because the damn vulnerable web app, you have to be logged in to use it, and we need the referrer to actually do the actual SQL injection. So what we do is literally just copy and paste these into a fresh text document. I'm just going to stop tampering now just to make life a bit easier for us. Okay, so just copy that, and let's just open up a new text document and paste that in. Okay, so there's our referrer, and let's just go back and copy our cookie as well. Okay, excellent. Now we are ready to start SQL Map and doing some SQL injection. Okay, so you can start SQL Map by literally just going to the command prompt or bash shell. Just make it a bit bigger, and you type SQL Map, MAP. Let's try that again, SQL MAP, and there are pretty much the very basic options. I highly recommend you get to know this tool, and the best way to do that is to look at the extended help, which is SQL Map -HH. And that gives you all the different options that you can use for SQL Map. As you can see, there are many different ways, and we're just going to scratch the surface in this because you need to become pretty much au fait with this tool over time. Okay, so let's just clear the screen to give us some time, or some space rather, and we're going to start our SQL Map scripting. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is list the databases. So there's our command. Let's just copy that and move it back to our SQL Map text thing. There we go. Okay, so the command is SQL Map -u. The referrer is -u stands for URL. So in here we're going to just put our referrer in inverted commas, and let's just go fetch that quickly. It's over here. It's everything after the equal sign, so from HTTP onwards. And let's just copy that and put it into our script. Let's just paste that, and then we need to do the same with the cookie. So let's just do that and go copy and paste our cookie, everything after the equal sign, and copy that, and let's just go back here and paste it in. Okay, so now this should pretty much list all the databases on this database server. Let's hit enter and see what happens. And it looks like we've run into an error which is a little bit cryptic. Option D is incompatible with option U. So there's a syntax error obviously with this command, so let's just go fix that quickly. I'm actually going to fix it in this file so that it is correct moving forward. So it's double minus before DBS, and let's just save that, and let's just go do the same to our script. Let's just add that second minus and let's see what comes back. Great. Okay, so there we have it. These are the databases that are on this database server. As you can see, there's DVWA, but there's also some standard MySQL databases as well as PHPMyAdmin, which is the tool I'm using to actually manage this database. Great. So that is how we enumerate databases using SQL injection and SQL Map. Okay, let's clear the screen again. And now we are going to move on to the next SQL script, and what we're going to do here is obtain the database and the database user. And as you can see, it's pretty much the same: SQL map minus ureferrer, double minus cookie, etc. But now the only thing that changes is the end bit. So it's minus b and then double minus current db and double minus current user. So let's just copy that part to make our life a bit easier. Made a slight mistake there. Let's control Z that, and let's just copy that, and let's just go back to SQL Map. I'm just going to hit up arrow, and what I'm going to do now is literally just delete that option and just add the new options. There we go, and let's hit enter. Great. So as you can see, it's very, very quick because it's literally over a LAN. And as you can see, the current user is DVWA at localhost, and the current database is DVWA. So there we've started enumeration. So now we already have a username and we already have a database name, but we know the database name because you did it in the previous command. Great. Let's move on now and to the next command, which is to obtain the database tables. Okay, so as you can see, it's literally just double minus tables at the end. So let's just copy that and go back to our SQL Map, up arrow again, and let's just add that to the end of our script because everything else stays the same. And we paste that in, and there we go. Ooh, there's quite a few tables, as you can see, because it's literally brought back every table in the database server, not just for our DVWA database, but as you can see, the information schema database, the MySQL database, this large one is the sys database. There's our DVWA, it only has 2 tables in it, etc, etc. Okay, so the best way to actually only bring back the tables you want is to actually specify the database, and you do that with a minus capital D command, and then you literally just write the database name, in this case DVWA, and hit enter again, and there we go. That's a little bit easier to work with. There's a guest book and there's users. So we've got 2 tables in our DVWA database. Great. Let's clear that again and let's go see what the next command is. So now we're going to look at columns. So once again, we just add, this is incorrect, it should say columns here. Let me just write that out for you. Okay, and let's just save that. So we just need double backslash columns, and the D database stays the same. And we go back here and we hit up arrow again, and let's just put columns, spelled correctly I hope. And if you hit enter, there are our 2 tables. There's the user table, it's got quite a few columns, and well, 8 columns to be exact, and 3 columns in the guestbook. And these are the column headings, and these are the data types that are allowed in that column. So you can see user has a varchar of 15. In other words, usernames can be a character and variables up to 15 characters in length, and our comments can be 300 characters in length. Great, so let's move on now and move to the next script, which is to obtain the database management user and password. So as you can see now, what we're going to try and do is get the DVWA and password, username and password, and see if we can enumerate that. So this is the command. As you can see, it's the same. The only thing that changes at the end is a double minus string equals surname, and then double minus users, double minus password. Let's just copy that, go back here, clear the screen to give us some breathing space. Let's just get rid of that, and let's just paste our changes and hit enter. As you can see, it's giving us a warning here. Something went wrong with the full union technique, but let's just carry on anyway. Do you want to store hashes to a temporary file for eventual further processing with other tools? Let's say yes, because who knows, we might be able to get some password hashes out. So yes. Do you want to perform a dictionary based attack against retrieved passwords? Let's say yes. And it didn't work so well, did it? So you can see here, no clear passwords found. And these are our password hashes, which don't look very good. So basically it looks like phpMyAdmin and the MySQL, which is the latest version running on the server, has actually protected us and protected our hashes because they're not reversible, and SQL Map can't get them out. But that's not the end here. What we're going to try now is we're going to try that dictionary attack, the one that we wanted to perform here. We're going to try that dictionary attack and see if we can enumerate the passwords, because just because we can't get the hashes doesn't mean that we can't guess passwords, because we have access to the direct database through SQL injection. So that means we can pretty much query the database directly without going through the web app and see if we can guess some passwords. So let's look at the crack passwords script, and it's literally just dump at the end. So let's just do a control C, and dump pretty much will dump everything, including passwords that it will try via a dictionary attack. So let's just go back here, let's clear the screen again, let's up arrow again, and let's just do double minus dump and paste that and hit enter. Okay, do you want to store hashes? Let's try that again and say yes. Do you want a dictionary based attack? We say yes, and there we go. As you can see, it's pulled down all our other users. So we've got admin and his username is password, Gordon B and his username is ABC123, etc, etc. So these are the usernames, these are the passwords, and that's their last name and first name. So let's see if we can quickly go log in. Let's log in as Pablo Picasso, and his username is Pablo, and his password is let me in. So we go back here, let's just close all of this off, give us some space. Let's close tamper data down. Let's actually close this session of Damn Vulnerable Web App and open another session just to be sure. And let's just go back to Damn Vulnerable Web App again and try logging as Pablo. So our username is Pablo and our password is let me in, and log in, and there we go. Now we are logged in as user Pablo, and there's our username, and our security level is set back to impossible. And that's pretty much how you do SQL injection, and you use the exact same commands on blind SQL injection. So if you want to practice that, you literally go to the SQL blind SQL injection in parentheses blind on Damn Vulnerable Web App. You can test for SQL injection just by putting a single quote and hitting submit. And as you can see, because it's set to impossible, nothing's going to happen. However, if I go back to DVWA security, set my security to low, so it's vulnerable, and go back to SQL injection, blind in this case, hit that single quote and hit submit, I get an error message which tells me that this is definitely vulnerable to SQL injection, and use the exact same commands as you would for standard SQL injection to enumerate the database, to get the database users, columns, tables, and to try and crack the passwords. And that pretty much ends this lab on SQL injection. I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching.